Another great bread from France, Pain de Campagne. Sort of, because I am cheating a little bit on this one. I am not good with sourdough starter. Pets and plants, they all die on me. So
That's true, I confirm.
so I'm cheating a little bit because I'm gonna use a instant sourdough yeast that I found, and I'm gonna try that out because I like sourdough bread, but I said sourdough starter, not my favorite. So let's get straight to it. 750 grams of type 00 wheat flour. This is Caputo. Very nice flour. And then I'm gonna mix it with 250 grams of whole grain wheat flour, I wanted to say, to give a little bit better texture. And then, as we have done before, I'm going in with 25 grams of baker's enzyme, which is basically amylase. We talked about it before when we were baking. It's already in flour, but if you add up the enzyme level, your bread stays fresh longer and you get better rise in the oven. Everything just gets better. But then, because this is a countryside bread, I'm gonna add some malt flour, which will give it a darker color and a roasty flavor in the dough. So 40 grams of that. And then I'm going in with 25 grams of salt, 2.5% of the flour weight. And what we usually do, we proof our yeast in lukewarm water. But we're not gonna do that today because here is 40 degrees, which is 104 Fahrenheit. So it's super, super warm. Stay here. There. So it's super warm, and that's a problem for the gluten network to build up, because gluten favors cold temperatures to build, whereas the yeast wants some more temperature to rise. So now we're gonna use ice cold water for our flour this time. But first we're gonna mix it dry, just so everything is combined. So let it roll for a minute or so, just to get everything well combined. And I'm using my gluten master again today. If you don't have one of these, you can do it with a flip and fold 3 times over, wait half an hour in between. But this gets much stronger gluten buildup. And then once it's combined, I will start streaming in by cold water slowly, so it starts mixing. And then we're gonna let it knead for 15 to 20 minutes until we can see that it's super strong. There we go. And now we wait a good 15 minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. And when everything is nice and strong and tight, then our dough is ready. It has an excellent gluten network now. So out with this, little bit of oil on our hands, not too much, just this, a little bit on our board here. And then we take it out, and I mean, look at this. Then we take our dough card and we take it for a little bit of a walk. We want to tighten up the underside of the dough. I'm sure there are more elegant ways to do this, but it works.
Nice color it has also.
That's the malt. That's the malt.
Very nice.
And you see, now it's getting nice and tight.
Looks happy.
That's about what you want to see. Nice, beautiful lump of dough and super strong. So a bowl, a little bit more oil, not much, just like this. We don't want anything to stick here. And now we take it as is into our bowl and we cover this up. And now we let this rise for 45 minutes to an hour until double in size, and then we're ready to shape our loaves. An hour passed, let's see how we're doing here. And that looks just beautiful. Big, more than double in size actually, and looking really nice and wobbly. Let me get again a little bit of oil in my hands so they are non-sticky. And then, since we are not making any bread here with big holes inside, like when we are doing ciabatta or pan de cristal, by the way, there's a link down below how to make that one, excellent bread. But this is a country loaf, so we just grab it and split it in two. Bam.
Look how strong it is.
No. And now we form a boule, as it's called, which, as far as I'm concerned or understand, is French for ball, but I'm not sure, so don't hang me up on that one. Then we take a piece of paper. And we let it that's the easiest way to get them into the oven afterwards. So it's a very simple shape, this one. It's nothing fancy. Pain de Campagne also means literally countryside loaf. So this would be some nice, beautiful loaves. So another piece of paper. Here in the wind it's a little bit difficult, but we make it work. And on top of the breads, we give them a little bit of oil, pat them around so they don't dry out. We want them to form a little bit of a skin, but we don't want them to dry out, because now, as we have them shaped, we're going to cover them each with a ball. And then we're going to let them proof here probably half an hour, 45 minutes. I'll show you how you check it when you poke them, but somewhere there, 30, 45 minutes. See you there. Almost an hour has passed, and now it's time to see how we're doing. And they're looking pretty, but that's not the proof if they're ready. The proof if they're ready is, maybe you cannot see this, but then you can understand what I'm saying. When you poke the bread, then it bounces back but leaves an indentation. If it bounces all the way back, then it's not ready. Then you have to wait a little bit longer. If you take it too far, then the indentation will just stay and it doesn't bounce back. That's overproofed. So I have here the bottom of 2 Dutch ovens. If you have a convection oven, you would have these piping hot inside the oven and then load the breads. But because my gas oven heats only from the bottom, they become too dark if I do that. So I have the bottoms outside, and now we're going to put our nice loaves in here. And then comes a few of the small tricks that makes this extra good. First up, water. You need to spray them nicely with water so you create humidity inside, because when we cover with the other part of the Dutch oven, then this humidity will make sure that the breads are allowed to rise before they form a crust, so you get a nice oven rise on them. Then to make them extra tasty, we're giving them a bit of sea salt. That's the best. The whole family loves this.
Yeah, it's the best actually. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, it just gives nice salty bite to the crust there. It's really good. Lastly, we want to score them so that we get a nice opening of the bread. So in an angle here, we're going to give it a nice, long, relatively deep cut, because you want them to open nicely. So if you don't have one of these, you can do it with a sharp knife, but it has to be really sharp. So mind you that. Sear the oven. I have the oven set up with 2 pizza stones in the bottom, and the tops of my Dutch oven, they are heating in here. So you can see how we put them down. Cover. And in they go. Whoopty. And now we're going to bake them 20 minutes, and then we're going to uncover them. So see you in 20. 20 minutes up, so it's time to get them uncovered and also see how they're looking.
Well, they smell good.
Ooh. See, that is what you want to see.
They're beautiful.
They are gorgeous. But now they need to bake probably another 20, maybe even 25 minutes until we have a nice, thick brown crust. And let's see how we're doing here on our beauties. That's the crust you want to see. That is simply gorgeous. Look at that. And listen to this. Fantastic. So now we're going to let these 2 beauties cool down maybe 10 minutes so we can cut in and see how we did on the crumb. But the crust is perfect. So let's see how we did. Look how beautiful. It is just super gorgeous. So let's see how we did on the inside also. Listen to that.
Wow.
There are crumbs everywhere. But look at this. Beautiful, beautiful crumb. Nothing with big holes or anything. This is country style bread. This is excellent to make sandwiches, whatever, and it smells absolutely divine. I mean, fresh bread, it's the best there is.
This is your everyday bread, I would say.
Yeah, this is everyday bread.
Oh.
Nice little piece, extra virgin olive oil. Give it a good dip. And then we're going to hear the crunch also.
Oh la la.
That's fabulous bread. The malt gives it like a toasty sort of undertone to it. And the crust is so fantastic. And that's partially because of the enzymes that we added. This is a super everyday bread. Pain de Campagne, sourdough.